2 points that I want to make from whatever you've spoken. So Anand, it looks like that we have given up our e-commerce space to the foreigners to run. If you say Amazon and Alibaba are fighting it out, probably. And second, I also wanted to say one investor actually told me long back that when nobody is investing in a space and it's down and beaten down, that's where you invest and you make the most. So I don't know whether this is the right time, but I'll rather let all of you debate on that.
Anand, you mentioned that the Ola Uber example, right? And let's say a company comes to you today and they say, I expect consumer behavior change. I need $1 billion to make it happen. It'll take 5 years to make that happen, because that's the case with Ola, that's the case with Uber, and so on. Would you be able to say today, okay, I'm going to write that $5 million check because I think there'll be $1 billion available to make that consumer behavior change happen?
You mentioned about Jeff Bezos, right? He is an entrepreneur. He is leaving a legacy behind. I'm an investor. I want a return. I have a deadline. I can't wait for the lifetime to happen. So that example is totally way off. We are talking about investor investing in e-commerce. You are talking about an entrepreneur, Jeff Bezos, who wants to leave a legacy for whatsoever. Secondly, coming to methane. Silicon Valley doesn't work in India.
One question at a time.
Yeah.
One question at a time. Anand gets...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, the point about, Sanjay, I think it's not going to work. Founders need to build companies for years, 100 years, leave a legacy behind. Your need as an angel investor to exit in 5 years probably is the wrong kind of need. Probably you just have to feel like passing on the baton. Sandeep, coming to your point, as an investor, you want to look at behaviors which haven't been attempted at change so far, right? So I don't want to go after Uber and Ola today. That's not the job. That's the behavior which has already changed.
You spoke about it.
If there is a new behavior which you can change today, for example, Indians, let's say don't invest properly, we don't have health insurance, as an example, right? Zero penetration of health insurance practically, right? If that's a behavior I would want to change, I would go after that. Now, there are behaviors in the middle of changing, like e-commerce, for example, or app taxis. Of course, it's too late to invest in those. However, having said that, can I still not invest in the app taxi phenomenon? Yes. Maybe by providing services to Uber drivers, providing alternatives, leveraging all of that.
The point I made was that if you know going in that the consumer is unwilling to pay for the service and you need to wait for a period of time before that consumer behavior will change,
no.
How much willingness are you? Willing are you?
It depends on the players, right? The willingness or lack of it is coming from who has the highest holding power, right?
Can you please explain these numbers, right? Offline is looking to grow from a $500 billion industry to $1 trillion industry, right? 500 billion to 1,000 billion in the next, by 2020. Online it's growing, it's nice, it's not making any money, right? Sales are supposed to grow from 40 million to about 100 million. So could you elaborate on the rationale for wanting to invest in the 40 to 100 billion sector versus the money-making 500 million to 1,000 billion sector?
So, at the beginning of the conversation I said this is a great time to invest. And let me give you some ideas and suggestions, young men, on where you could. We are elite Indians sitting in Mumbai at the St. Regis, and we can walk into the mall 2 minutes from here and buy whatever we want. You can get high-end stuff, low-end stuff. But there's a huge use case, ladies and gentlemen, and my friends here, for the rest of the country, where, there's several things. I can go through a plethora of things that are not available in these towns and cities. So even if they do not want to go online, they have to go online. They have to go out and buy this stuff, and they have to pay for it.
Tell me 5 innovation happened in last 1 year, and you are seeing another 5 innovation coming where you will invest for e-commerce. They're just selling it. It's a business with a website. There's nothing else than that.
10 years ago, Amazon was 900 times of its earnings. It was the most expensive stock then. The most expensive stock, right? And that stock, people ignored saying, oh, it's highly valued, all of that. It's up 14 times since then.
No, but
it's up 14 times since then because people ignored valuation, people ignored lack of margins, but people bet on the way the market was moving. So the most important metric is how big is the market, which direction it's flowing, and we have to look as investors, look at that and the entrepreneur's energy.
This is the first hard fact which has come. If you look at the stock price, had you invested, it would have grown. So that is the clear indication of how the value proposition has risen for an investor.
So I would not disagree with your point about Amazon stock price going up, but you also have to look at the market where they started, and the market at that point, in fact, actually paid for them, right? So there was nobody else that was really competing with them. It wasn't a discount-led battle. It was an innovation-led battle.
But may I say something on Amazon?
I'll talk about two companies, Shoppers Stop and Myntra. Shoppers Stop is a very, I mean, when I shifted to Bombay 20 years ago, Shoppers Stop was the place to go and buy stuff, right? 25, 30 years old company, right? Last 7 years has had flat sales, almost no growth. In these last 7 years, Myntra has actually overtaken Shoppers Stop in terms of revenue.
I was the first investor in Myntra. It was a laughing stock in those days. The reality is it's $1 billion company today. We've already made a new investment, which is a Myntra killer. And we see that this company, which is new age e-commerce, which is we did 6 months back, which is in today's time, same day deliveries. The inventory model is defunct, and that's the problem with e-commerce as far as costs. This company takes no inventory, and therefore it's highly efficient. So there are new businesses being created, ladies and gentlemen, which are highly capital efficient, that do not need hundreds of millions, let alone billions of dollars. And they're there as we speak, and they're growing under our own eyes.
Okay, I would like a rebuttal from this side on the Myntra versus Shoppers Stop anecdote.
Yeah, I actually think, so let me say for a minute that if Myntra did not have the next $100 million to invest, the market stopped, would the company exist? Shoppers Stop is not spending any money.
Shoppers Stop has been increasing their borrowings every year, although they keep somehow, God knows how they show 60 crores of profit every year. This is average profit of last 5 years. But their borrowings go on increasing. So we'll take a good financial analyst to find out why.
So my question is there any data which proves that Myntra is eating into Shoppers Stop's revenues directly?
Yeah, let me also...
You have chosen one
more
not
example.
So well performing
let me pick another
from
example.
the brick and mortar retail and the best performing from the online
Let me pick a technology
space.
stock. Let me pick a technology stock and how technology kills technology. Right? There's a company called Just Dial. You can call it a tech company. It used to be a cool tech company 8-10 years ago. Although it was phone call, they had a lot of database. Google search used to show results. Today, Just Dial's own search doesn't work very well, unfortunately. If you've seen the stock price, probably there are stock analysts probably know something better now. Finally given up, and the stock price probably is 80% down from its peak. What's happening? There are lots of other apps and services which are taking one piece out of Just Dial, and a lot of my friends on the other side also have invested against Just Dial in canned services.
But Anand, you are losing the plot here. You are going over Ola, Just Dial. No. Stick on e-commerce, man. We are talking e-commerce.
I'm not losing the plot.
Are you investing in e-commerce? We are not. It's against. Stick to the core.
The idea is to lose the plot but win the debate, right?
Anand, you are going all over.
Yeah. Idea is to lose the plot, win the debate.
Yeah, they don't have any points. You are moving from e-commerce to taxi.
I just want to win the debate, man.
Just Dial. What is this?